Today is International Pensions Awareness Day, and for many of you out there, you might be wondering, why should I be, thoughtful about pensions, and why should I be considerate about having to have a particular pension scheme? Well, if you're asking these questions, it's very important for you to have these schemes, especially when your retirement is doomed to happen, no matter how long it takes. Well, to help us understand the benefits and contributions, as well as the importance of pensions, we're joined by Eric Edu-Apentin, the head of business at the People's Pensions Trust, to help us understand matters concerning this industry very much well. Eric, very much, grateful to have you here on the program. Pensions. I mean, I remember when I was in senior high school, I was told about pensions, university pensions and whatnot. We never felt the need to really consider it as part of our lives. But now we know that it's very much important for you to have a pension, scheme in your working environment. From your perspective, the People's Pensions Trust, you have been engaging the public over the years on the need for people to have, pensions, the need for them to consider retirement in that nature. How has it been for you so far? Today is the Pensions Awareness Day. How do you consider pensions so far in this country?
It hasn't been smooth, but it's been good all along this while. The pension industry in Ghana started way back from 1962.
Exactly.
And then we came down to the PNDC Law 247, where when one Senate was mandated to manage the whole pension scheme, was the solely trust that was handling the pension industry. But there was agitation here and there. People raised concern on how Senate was handling the funds, and especially with their 25% lump sum to be paid to them when they were going on at the time of exiting active service. And so somewhere in 2004, there was a pension reform to look into that matter. And then the committee advised the government on how to structure the whole pension system in the country. They promulgated an act, which was Act 766, introducing a three-tier pension system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll come to the three-tier pension system shortly. But in the beginning of the submission, you made it known that it's not been smooth. Looking at the entire years of pensions regulation in the country. What do you mean by it's not been smooth?
You could see that it started way from what we used to call Cap 30, and then it was reviewed somewhere 75. I remember I know 72. It was also reviewed, and then it came to the Act 766 or Act 2008. So you could see that as a country, we hadn't been really gotten it right. Why it was, I'm saying it's not easy, is that they keep changing the scheme here and there.
So you feel, we've seen some improvement over the past few years with SNIT and especially the private sector and government regulation as well, but you feel there should be some sense of reliable structure that could be there for a lifetime?
Yes, I think the Act 766 is doing what it's supposed to, but maybe the MPRA has to look at one or two things, especially when you look at the working class of our country. We have about over 70% of our working class being in the informal sector. Act 766 was introduced because one of the reasons why was that the PNDC Law 247 didn't really pay attention to the workers in the informal sector. And then venturing into the informal sector is not something that is smooth. Even
but should that be the case?
It shouldn't. But when you look at how it's been structured, one, there is a cap on fees as how to charge And then when you look at the cost of venturing into the informal sector, it's very expensive.
So, over the past few years, we have seen tier 2, tier 3, come inside. We've seen the infiltration of, private pension, funds, firms also come in. How has competition been like for people like the People's Pensions Trust?
It has been tough, but we still have much of the market which has not been touched, and we're looking at getting more of the market. But when you look at the cost involved, sometimes it's quite cumbersome. So the competition has been tough, and when you look at how investments are run, you could see that one of the reasons for promulgating Act 7 success is to provide get competition and invest in the funds. Yes, but where and how to invest the fund, I would see that some way somehow being regulated, which I don't mind, but sometimes you are kind of directed where to invest the funds.
So you want to have the free space, private,
yes.
When
there's a little bit of that, it would increase the competition profile.
It's interesting to know, today is the Pensions Awareness Day. How much of awareness do you think has been created in our public space when it comes to pensions?
I haven't seen much today, but we from People's Pension Trust, we are launching one of our new products called the iCare. We want to sensitize everybody to think about your mother, your father, your friend, so that whilst you are preparing for pension, you also think about the other person and help the person also prepare for his pension.
But beyond that, do you think Ghanaians are much aware of the entire thing called pension?
Yes, I would say Ghanaians are much aware, but sometimes they confuse pension and insurance. So sometimes when you go into the market, they try to be like insurance for NABA, but we are not insurance. Then you have to sit them down and then explain. I think there's more to do when it comes to educating the public on the whole social security system in the country.
Eric, we're so grateful that you joined us for that particular information there, the World Pensions Awareness Day. I bet to differ when it comes to how the public is, weigh in on the need for them to have pensions. You rightly stated that most of them interject pensions insurance together, but we see how that one goes in our future discussions. We're so grateful once again. Here's with the People's Pensions Trust explaining to us the pensions regulatory scheme, concerns, and the way forward, especially as we celebrate the World Pensions Awareness Day.